The president of the White House Correspondents Association has expressed her dissatisfaction with Michelle Wolf's monologue at this weekend's annual White House Correspondents Dinner. Margaret Talev posted this statement on her Twitter page saying last night's program was meant to offer a unifying message about our common commitment to a vigorous and free press while honoring civility, great reporting, and scholarship winners, not to divide people. Unfortunately, the entertainer's monologue was not in the spirit of the mission. The annual dinner is a fundraiser for journalism scholarships and usually features a comedian that pokes fun at the government and journalists. This year's comedian, Michelle Wolf, is a former contributor and writer for The Daily Show.
Here we are, the White House Correspondents Dinner. Like a porn star says when she's about to have sex with a Trump, let's get this over with. I actually really like Sarah. I think she's very resourceful. Like, she burns facts, and then she uses that ash to create a perfect smoky eye. People call Trump names all the time. And look, I could call Trump a racist or a misogynist or xenophobic or unstable or incompetent or impotent. But he's heard all of those, and he doesn't care. So tonight, I'm going to try to make fun of the president in a new way, in a way that I think will really get him. Mr. President, I don't think you're very rich. I think you might be rich in Idaho, but in New York.
President Trump called the dinner an embarrassment to everyone associated with it. Here's what he tweeted. The White House Correspondents' Dinner is dead as we know it. This was a total disaster and an embarrassment to our great country and all that it stands for. Fake news is alive and well and beautifully represented on Saturday night. Emily Heil is with us now, writer for the Washington Post. You got wide-ranging reaction, Emily, after the Correspondents Association dinner. What is the main point that you got from the reaction? I know that there are people on both sides, but is there any side that the whole thing's leaning towards?
Well, it's interesting because I was in the room when Michelle Wolf gave her monologue, and it kind of didn't go over well in the room. You could tell that there were some groans. People really weren't sure how to react. There was some laughing too. I mean, there were definitely some lines that got laughs, but having been there in many previous dinners, it just didn't get the effect that you usually hear there. There wasn't the laughs weren't coming. So then I talked after the dinner. I actually caught up with Kathy Griffin, the comedian who was actually at the dinner as a guest, and she raved about it. She said, it didn't go over really well in the room at points, but I think she said it was because of the thin skins in Washington, which I take that point, but also said it was because she was a woman that the jokes just didn't land. So a lot of comedians then on Twitter were very much defending Michelle Wolf. Conservatives, predictably, and defenders of President Trump were very upset with it, took a lot of umbrage at it. But I think that this whole sort of reaction to this what was supposed to be just a comedic monologue has gotten pretty overblown.
Yeah. I read afterwards a tweet that she sent in response to the jokes that were made about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, saying that the jokes were in response to her quote-unquote despicable behavior. So is there someone in that role who provides that comedy who should be left-leaning, right-leaning? I mean, has the Correspondents Association itself taken a beating over their choice?
They have, and I think they've kind of gone into this sort of soul-searching mode of, what are they going to do going forward? The president of the association sent a letter to members late last night saying that she welcomed all input, that they were going to kind of rethink the dinner moving forward. I mean, that's on them, though. I mean, I just don't understand how you could invite a comedian knowing that there's going to be this sort of biting humor and then feel somehow that was the wrong move. I mean, comedians are supposed to be edgy. They're supposed to push boundaries. And, if the association, if the White House correspondents, are going to feel uncomfortable about that, then perhaps they should rethink it. I think the association has kind of gone back and forth over the years. There have been other controversial performances by comedians. Stephen Colbert gave a memorably very singeing monologue, and that was greeted with some controversy. And after that, the association then turned to very mild comedians like Rich Little, and that was sort of dull for a few years, and then they went back and have since had sort of edgier acts too. So there's a pendulum that's been swinging back and forth. Has it sort of gone off the rails now? Maybe it has.
Are there people that think that the original intent of this dinner and a night of mingling essentially between the press and people, the administration, are there people that think it's just kind of gone off the rails?
Well, there's always been a problem with that, and many people, this dinner has always had its critics. That this does look kind of cozy. You've got members of the administration, you've got the president up in the dais, and then these, people who cover him essentially yucking it up with him all night. And I think that kind of criticism has only been more intense in the last few years as the public's, understanding of the media and what our role is, and the importance of a free press, as that has eroded, as that trust that the public feels in the press has eroded, I think the optics of this dinner only get worse.
Yeah, some people think it shouldn't happen at all. Emily Heil with the Washington Post. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Like Emily said, there's mixed reaction to Saturday's speech. That was evident on our Facebook page, where people were arguing about whether Wolf's monologue was appropriate. Sam said conservatives have been calling for an end to political correctness, and they got it. Why are they suddenly so upset? Angela said, how embarrassing this country has become to the world. Never have I seen such contempt and disdain for our president. Shell said, but it's okay for the person occupying the White House to make offensive remarks about people daily on social media and in public, and some folks will defend him to the hilt for it. I see nothing different here. I think she's referring to comments like this.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. Take a look. You take a look. Look at her. Look at her words. You tell me what you think. I don't think so. I don't think so.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
They're beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even know it. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the you can do anything.
So let me boil this down. In a tweet, Michelle Wolf said her jokes about Sarah Huckabee Sanders were because of her, quote, despicable behavior. And I wonder if a comedian in this role on this night should have a purposely stated political agenda. Now, the controversy undercuts the purpose of the evening and only creates a bigger rift between the press and the president.